Lesson number 16, final lesson. Let's put it together. Let's graduate. Remember, once you graduate, nobody's recruiting. You know, if you went to UCLA, USC, NYU, spent 4 years and $100,000, graduate, got your diploma, shot you short. Do you see ABC, NBC, or any of the networks going over there recruiting? And by the way, I didn't mislead you. I gave you the information, and when this lesson is over, you're on your own. You're on your own. But you know what? With success, I think you got more information now than if you spent 4 years at one of those theory-laden schools that talk about dolly left, dolly right, image, emotion, history of cinema. Shut up, what does film cost? How do I get a good deal? How many feet do I need? Once again, I can't teach talent. Only you do. Only you have it. I can give you the information that doesn't get that talent that's inside of you all uptight and dealing in those little logistics and all those other things to free it up a little bit more. So right now you've gone through and we've learned how to make a film cost effectively, how to market the film, how to sell the film, which is no guarantee you sell the film. I'm not misleading you. How to get a distributor, how to negotiate with a distributor if you have power to negotiate with a distributor, and where revenues and profits will come from. You know how to write a script, you know how to option properties, you know how to budget, you know how to schedule. You also know a lot about digital filmmaking and what to be careful about and not screw up on if you shoot that way. Let's put it together. It's really nice information, and I'm going to show you up here. Remember when we started 16 lessons ago or 15 lessons ago, and I said the 7 things it takes to be rich and famous? And I told you number 1, the script, and number 2, legal work or financing. But down there, number 7, talent, and I don't know how to talk about talent. Well, now we're going to start filling in numbers 3 through 6. But first, before we fill in 3 through 6 and put the game plan together, let's get real for a moment. Although this class was about independent filmmaking, you know what most of you are, though, really? You're people that have an idea or a thought. Hopefully you have a little bit of a work ethic and you wrote the script and you really just want to sell your script. You know that's where most of you are at. 90% of you are really at, even though I gave you all this information, how to make it, how to market it, how to sell it, how to negotiate it, it's really you wrote a script and you're trying to sell it. And it always seems like Hollywood's such a mystery. I need to get contacts. Contacts, where do you go to get contacts? An optometrist. Where's this contact stuff from? I just made that, I thought that was funny. Thank you for chuckling a little bit. You know, if I would have yelled it, it would have even been funny. It's amazing. When you learn to be da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, the bottom line is most of you guys really have got some typing and are just happy to sell it. And what you got to stop doing is trying to sell your script that you want to direct and coming and trying to sell it to me and putting baggage on it right up front and telling me, but I want to direct. Oh, shut up. Just sell the script. And there seems to be a mystery about how to sell scripts and who do you go to and what do you do, and it's not a mystery. The first thing in selling a script that you got to do is write the great script. Nothing easy about that. It's quite simple to fill up 90 to 120 pages of typing, beginning, middle, and end, plot points. But if somehow you can do it with story structure and your dialogue is so great, and as I'm reading it, every page I'm laughing out loud, or every page I'm feeling this tragedy of this human being and what else are they going through? Oh my God, I'm so happy not to be that person, but what else is going to happen? And I can't wait to turn the page. Do you know when you know you have a great script? When you read it and your eyes go down the page, down the page. If you read a script and you notice your eyes going left to right or your head going to left to right, it stinks. That's labor. It's boring. You notice when you read a good book, you can't wait to turn to the next page, your head goes down the page. When you see a good movie, the time just flies by. So if you're reading your script and you're counting page 22, page 47, exterior park day, and your head's going like this as they're describing the park, it stinks. But if you're reading the script and you notice your head just goes like that and you're laughing, you can't wait to get to the next page, and you're, oh yeah, cool, yeah, oh yeah, you got the great script. Now what are you going to do with it? I've told you to cover your ass, register and copyright it. So you wrote the treatment, registered and copyrighted it. Then you wrote the first draft, registered and copyrighted it. But you're not a wimp, you know nothing is written, it's rewritten. Then you wrote the second draft, copyrighted and registered it. Now what do? Get an agent? You're not going to get an agent. No agent's going to work with you. You're nobody. You're not even a typist to us. But I got to get an agent. Everybody sees it. I got to get an agent. Well, here's how you do it. Get somebody to give you an offer and a contract. Then take the contract to William Morris, ICM, CAA, APA, UTA, Endeavor. Those are the big agencies. And they'll finalize the contract for you. You got to sell it. They'll finalize the contract. The script is sold. If the movie ever gets made and makes money, then they'll get you more deals. Then you'll have the agent. So you got to make something, you got to write something that's sellable. So let's say you wrote the script that's sellable. What do you do now with it? And you're not going to get an agent. You send it to the people that buy typing. Now, in your workbooks in the classroom, which is not your workbooks with the video cassettes at home, in your classroom workbooks, turn to page 144. At home, you'll find the sheet in your workbook that's called Facts on Packs. Facts on Packs. F-A-C-T-S on P-A-C-T-S. Now, once a year, Variety or Daily Variety has an issue, and in the issue, they have a 3-page article and maybe a 1-page chart that's called Facts on Packs. Now, instead of skimming through Daily Variety, actually look at the chart. Now, let's take a look at this chart and see what it says. It says, see what's in dark black? In dark black, there are approximately 10 distributors. They're the major distributors and the mini-major distributors. Miramax, New Line, the mini-majors, Warner Bros., Paramount, 20th Century. Now, under each distributor's name, there are the 15 to 30 other names under each distributor's names. Take a look at those names. Half of those names are very famous actors. The other third of those names are very famous directors. And the final, about 1/6 of names, are wealthy producers that seem to have the golden touch. That is the list of all the companies that studio has given a development deal to for next year. So there is all the money in the film industry for next year going to be made into films. They're not hiding. What you got to do is write the great script, of course cover your ass, register and copyright it, then send it out. And you don't need an agent to mail something out. Is there anybody here that can't stick a script in an envelope and put in an address and mail it? Just send it out. But who do you send it out to? Those are the production companies that have development deals. Let's say Warner Brothers wants to distribute films with Kevin Costner in it. Then Warner Brothers makes a development deal with Kevin Costner, called his production company, which at one time, I think it was called TIG Productions. They make a deal with him, and we say, we'll give you $20, $50, $80, $100 million next year to make films for us. Of the $80 million, you can spend $50 or $60 million on one film. It's got to be you in it with a lot of action. Of the other $20 million, You can executive produce any other film, anything you want to make, without you in it, but it's your production company. And your title, you'll probably be the executive producer. Now, of the other 10 million, take 5 million, put it in your pocket. The other 2 million here, use our jet for the year. We'll charge 2 million off. Of another million, redecorate 20,000 feet of office space any way you want. Of the other 5 million, go hire 5, 10 people. Call it your production company. You think they buy cameras? They don't care about cameras. What these people are readers, development executives, and you have $1 million to $2 million left over to utilize your development people to hire writers to write projects that you're going to make, or to option stories and then hire writers to make the stories of what you're going to make, which you're going to be in, or to purchase spec scripts from people who already have written scripts. So there are about 300 names of production companies that have already been pre-approved and greenlit for funding for next year. Now, the chart you're looking at is from a variety about 5 years ago, so that's outdated. So you've written your script, you registered and copyrighted it, and it's great. What are you going to do with it now? Send it to the people that buy. It's not a mystery. Is there anything tough about this? Oh, here's how you hear. Oh, I heard they don't accept unsolicited manuscripts. If you're going to buy that line, you're never going to do anything in your life. What do you mean they don't accept unsolicited manuscripts? You put it in an envelope, you mail it. What do you think they do? It comes in, it's opened. It's accepted. Is there a mystery here? Why do you think you need all these middlemen? Write the great script. There's nothing easy about that. It's so easy for me to yell it. And believe me, if I could have done it, and I've written 7 screenplays, and they all stink, but I wrote them. And I thought they were all great after I wrote them. But then I'm not a wimp, and I went on and wrote another script. And then after I wrote another script, I went back and read the script that I wrote 6 months ago, and I went, I wrote that piece of crap. Oh, my God. And I sent it out to those executives. No wonder why they don't want to talk to me now. But then I went on and wrote another script and another script. And I know how to write scripts. And I know how to write scripts in 3 or 5 days. And they'll be action-oriented. They'll move. They'll tell a story, beginning, middle, and end. But God didn't gift me with the gift of dialogue. I don't know how to type dialogue well. You know, I do he says, she says. It's sort of boring. But everybody has their talent. My talent is as a communicator, a teacher, an orator. That's my gift. Your gift, you're hoping your gift is directing or writing. Maybe it is. So let's give it a shot. Write the script, make it great. There is no mystery. Send it out to those production companies that have development deals. There's the chart. Just get the most recent variety that has the most recent facts on packs chart and take it over to Kinko's. Blow it up to about 3 feet by 6 feet, the chart. Now take the chart home and Scotch tape it on a wall. I'm from the School of Hard Knocks, and a long time ago I found out there is a God, and it's not me. I'm a very self-centered, egotistical person that believes the universe evolves around me, and that is incorrect. The universe was here first. I don't understand anything about it. But God, he, she, it, whatever form, put me here for a reason. And when I had that little epiphany, I realized I don't control anything. I've always been trying to manipulate and control and set this up and set that up. And I thought I controlled something. And one day I had the epiphany and realized God controls it, not me, whatever form you think God is. So now I let God do all the decisions. My life's so much easier. I just show up and go to work every day. I must get out of bed early. I must work. And God will make the decisions. So you wrote what you believe is the great script. And who do you send it to now? You get fax on packs, blow it up, Scotch tape it on the wall. Now, I know everybody says these production companies don't accept unsolicited manuscripts. They always say that. I broke the unwritten rule a little bit in the film industry once, about 3 years ago. It's sort of, I call it the unwritten rule in the film industry, is when you work in the film industry, when you're socializing with other people in the film industry, don't talk about movies. That's the last thing I want to talk about. I happen to be a human being. I don't want to do lunch or dinner or ever see any one of you ever again. Because all you want to talk about is ferret information out about me and movies. You know what? I got 2 children that are growing up. One's in the computer industry. One's trying to break in with a line of clothes right now. I got a wife and I got 2 puppies. And one of the puppies is eating her caca. And I actually found out a lot of other people. My other dog is an epileptic. And that's my life. And if you don't want to talk about me and my life, I'll talk about you and your life. But I don't talk about movies after I do work. I talk about my life. And I don't project my life. I broke the unwritten rule. I'm in a car with 2 other guys. They're both development executives. They're big development executives for super $20 million bankable stars. I broke the unwritten rule because each of those stars have big development deals. And I broke the rule and I asked one of them, hey, I'm with a lot of first-timers that are somewhat naive, trying to get them real. And I tell them that you development executives read everything. That this thing, we don't accept unsolicited manuscripts, is a crock. And I tell them you read everything. Is that really true? And both of them said, yeah, it's true. And I went, one was, said his name, Greg, that can't be true. I said, Dub, it's true. Greg, it can't be true. You can't read everything that comes in the mail. It's true. It can't be true, Greg. Come on, it can't be true. He's a New Yorker like me. He turned around and said, what lip don't you see moving? This guy pays me to read everything. I usually, 95% of the time, throw it away after 2 pages because they don't know how to cut to the chase and tell a story. But I read everything. 90% I throw away after 10 pages. 95% we throw away really quick. But if the first page I read, and I already taught you how to get a great first page, cut right to the chase right away. And if the first page is great, they'll read 10 pages. And if the 10 pages are great, they'll read the whole thing. I now believe they'll do it. Even though every book you read and every seminar you go to, except mine, you'll probably hear, we don't accept unsolicited manuscripts. You got to go through the system. And all I know is if you buy that information, you're not going to get anywhere in this industry. So it's no mystery. Write your script, that's the mystery, and make it great. I don't know how to do that. I know how to teach it, but I don't know how to do it. Write the great script, register and copyright it. Now get the list from Facts on Packs on the 300 production companies that have development deals with studios or networks, and turn it over to God. How do you turn it over to God? See the chart that's on your wall now? I said put the chart on your wall. Go get 10 darts. And walk 10 feet away from the wall. And you can't turn around and look at it because you're going to try and cheat, aren't you? And turn your back to the wall and take the darts and just throw them in. 3 darts, 4 darts, so you mess up a wall. You're renting anyway. 5 darts, 6 darts, 7 darts. Pick 10 companies. All those companies, development executives, when they get on panels, they love sitting up there and saying, we don't like you to market this to everybody. Then buy it! Send out 10. Turn it over to God. You can't control anything now. Move on with your next script or go to med school. Do something else. You did the best you can. Don't wait for anything to happen. Well, you put all your eggs in one basket? How many times have you heard that saying? Move on with the next script or go back to whatever you do in daily life, and somehow they read it. More than likely, half of them toss it right away. Another half read a couple pages. Maybe 2 or 3 read it all the way through. It takes usually about 6 weeks before they get back to you if they want it. They will only call you back if they want it. They probably won't send it back, and don't call us and bug us, because we're not calling you. We're not talking to you. We'll talk to you if we want it. Do you think we're going to steal it from you? You're all so paranoid out there that us in Hollywood, we're brain dead and coked out, and you have this naivety that you're going to send us your typing, and we're going to take off the title page, put on our title page, put in $5 to $20 million to make it, and continually go, don't tell that person in Oklahoma. Shh, don't tell that person. We are so wealthy in this industry that if you can write the script that we want to make, we'll give you Writers Guild minimum plus 10%, and we'll give you 3 or 5 agents to call, because we don't want to take advantage of you. But normally we pay what's called 110% of scale. Writers Guild minimum plus 10%. And we'll give you, now you'll get an agent, because somebody wants to buy it. And we'll find the agent for you, and we'll give you 5 to choose from. Pick the one you like. And if you don't like them, call somebody else and call an agent and say, I have a deal, I just need you to look at the contract, you get 10%. It's a done deal. Then you'll get an agent. Then you'll get an agent. Here's what you once again think, and I got to get away from this. There is such massive paranoia out there in the world that Hollywood steals ideas. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. We did it about 15 lessons ago. Does anybody own an idea? Then I can't steal it from you. And if all you have is a seed thought, I can do it, because I have a work ethic without you. But what if you write the treatment and a script? Is that an idea? No, that's not an idea, that's a script. Can I steal that? No. You're protected. But now you want to sue me and think I do. If you think we do steal it, here's what we got to do if we steal it. We're so wealthy in the film industry once we're established. We have so much money. And to give you $50,000 to $60,000 for your typing is a joke if it's a wonderful script. But you think we're brain dead and coked out. The only person that would steal this has got to be brain dead and drugged out. So let's go through the scenario. Let's not talk around it. I go right to the jugular. Let's go talk it out now. So you wrote the script. You registered and copyrighted. You put it in an envelope and you send it to the development executive. And he gets the script. He opens it up. Script! We got a script! Wow! Typing! Do you have any idea how many scripts there are in Los Angeles? If you ever want to find out how many scripts there are in LA, you're in Oklahoma, get on a plane, fly to LA. While you're on the plane flying to LA, tell the stewardess or flight attendant, you're a producer. You're going to LA to set up some projects. By the time you get off the plane, you'll have a script in your hand called The Stewardess. Now you're in the airport. Go get your luggage. While you're getting the luggage, the sky cap comes over. They usually talk to guys and say, you know, what team are you from? What city are you from? Do you like the weather? And then happen to tell them that you happen to be a producer coming to LA to set up some projects with a couple of studios and networks. By the time your luggage is in the cab, you'll have a script called The Sky Cap. Now you get in the cab. You're going to your hotel. You tell the cabbie, I'm a producer. They'll ask you, what are you doing here? Are you on vacation? You're working? No, I'm working. I'm on vacation. I'm a producer. I'm coming here to set up some projects. The cabbie will instantly go under the seat, push the gun to the right, and pull out the script called The Hacky. Now here's the third script you just got in LA. You've only been here 15 minutes. Now go check into the hotel. Tell the desk clerk. Every desk clerk in LA is in the Screen Actors Guild. Now tell the desk clerk, you're a producer coming here to set up some projects. By the time you get to the room, you got a script called The Desk Clerk. By the way, it's in the room that I want the real script. The Maid. The Maid, that's the real story that's in there. There's so many scripts, guys. There were about 50 to 55,000 scripts registered at the Writers Guild last year, of which we made 800. Which, by the way, there are probably another 300,000 scripts that people didn't know that you can register and copyright. You don't have to be a member of the Writers Guild. Of which, by the way, scripts, it's not like Mission Impossible. After 60 days, they blow up and dissolve. That's from the year last year. What about the year before? There's another 350,000 scripts around. The year before, another 350,000 scripts. The year before, another 350,000 scripts. There are millions of these typing things all over this town. And if I'm the guy that has the money to make it into anything, and we're wealthy, we're not going to steal it from you. You only, the guy that steals it, if they do it and they don't do it, they got to be brain dead and coked out. So you send them the script that you wrote, registered, and copyrighted. I get the script. I'm brain dead and I'm coked out. Script! You don't know what I'm doing. Title! It's got a title! Fade in! What do you think? We're going to take the title page off, put on our title page now, register and copyright it, then put in 5, 10, 20 million to make it and hope you never find out about it? It's so easy to prove you created it first when you wrote it and registered it back there. And when you send it to us, if we do that sleazy thing, which we don't do, then we register and copyright it, we can't push back the clock. It's so easy to prove you created it first if you created it first. But if you want to be a naive child and just be a wimp and come into me with you think you have a thought, and we are supposed to finance you and a thought, then you are a child. And I happen to have a work ethic, and you don't own thoughts. And right now we're already probably financing and writing probably about 100 screenplays about women in Pakistan or Afghanistan that are Green Berets in combat. We probably, within 2 days, Monica Lewinsky had written already 50 scripts about women and interns that sleep with politicians to get ahead in life, etc. What do you think? You are so egocentric that whatever is out there in the cosmos and sparked you in your head right now to write your story, only God sparked you and nobody else in the universe? Right now, whatever thought you have right now, I guarantee you there are 1,000 other people in North America with the identical same thought. But what's different is you're all different personalities. And you're all going to do it entirely different. Some people like to say if you take 1 million monkeys and give them 1 million typewriters, one of them will come up with Macbeth. That is a crock. If you take 1 million monkeys and give them 1 million typewriters, maybe 2 of them will come up with 1 4-letter word. That is really the truth. When we had the .com thing and everyone was going out there buying Earls, you know, those 26 letters and then 10 numbers and a couple of dashes, let's say there are 40 possibilities. If you want a web address that has 1 letter in it or a number in it, 1 digit in it, there are 40 possibilities. You want a web address with 2 possibilities in it, 2 letters in it, that's 1,600 possibilities. You want a web address with 3 digits in it, that's 64,000 possibilities. You want a web address with 4 digits in it, that's 2.5 million possibilities. I only have 1 million monkeys with 1 million typewriters, and it's probably likely that not one of them will come up with a 4-letter word. Now, if you get that thought today, and I'm sure it's a wonderful thought, don't tell it to me, because I might do it without you, because I happen to have a work ethic. And I'm sure you have a thought right now, well, get home and do it. And don't think it's done once you've done it. Nothing's written, it's rewritten. Register and copyright it, and then turn it over to God. You can't control anymore. You don't need any contacts of somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody at somebody's company, and send it out. And they all read them. I really believe my friends tell me the truth. We read everything. They probably throw it away after 1 or 5 pages because it's boring, but they'll read everything. And if they read it all the way through and they love it, you will get a phone call. And we want to buy it. And you'll probably be offered initially Writers Guild minimum. 110% of scale. Here's enough money for minimum, which is about $50,000. And 10% for the agent. Oh, you don't have an agent? We'll send you a list of qualified agents. Pick one. So we finalize all the other detail work. And that'll probably be it. And that's your first offer. Now, you guys, though, that aren't just screenwriters that want to be directors, the game that you're going to play that you keep reading about is you want to direct. So the bad thing that most of you do is you try by starting off by sending the script and saying, but I want to direct it. You're putting garbage all around it. It's like luggage, baggage. You're making, I don't want to read it now. Just send me the script and wait and hope I call you back and want it. Watch what happens now. Hi, I'm a developer. We read the script in Miramax. We really love it. I'd like to give you $50,000 by it. No. Now say no.
No.
I want to direct.
I want to direct.
Do you think you really do that? When this offer comes? See what reality is now? But you can say no. Do you think we can't? You think we don't have 20 other people we're offering $50,000 to? You got the right to say no. You can say no. You can say no, I want to direct. I'm sure you'll say that. You know, I'll sort of, cut it out. You don't know how to direct. You don't even know what shooting ratio is. You don't even know how to buy film, etc. But it does happen every year. Every year there are about 3 fairy tale stories. We sort of nickname them, they wrote the great script and they held it hostage. And it does happen every year. But it's not, the odds in Lotto, I think, are better. And you don't have to work in Lotto. You just go and give them $1 or $5. So some of you are fantasizing about Lotto. I call it script Lotto. That you're going to write the great script and hope you're now trying the Immaculate Conception route. You believe it's great, but you're hoping that a reader like me has the same mindset that you have. We are different people. And you hope that what you think is great, I also think is great. That's the Immaculate Conception. And we conceive this thing together. Now you want to put in some baggage that you want to direct. I'm not going to go with that. My boss isn't going to go with that. We'll find a nice way to tell you. But now what if you have another production company, another studio, and somebody else that wants it? That now you have the great script and you're holding it hostage. And that does happen. I'd say maybe 3-4 times a year. And you'll read about that story, and that's that fairy tale story that fuses you into this fantasy that you can write the script and you're going to direct on your first project from an established company in the distribution or production arena. Put it out of your head. Although the fairy tale does happen every year, write your script, send it out, hope that God loves you, that you get a deal, and the deal will probably be Writers Guild minimum. Then you hope the script gets made. Then you hope the script that gets made, the movie gets distributed. Then you hope when the movie gets distributed, the audience comes to and loves it. Now you're the writer of that amazing movie. Now your agent is getting you 1 or 2 screenwriting assignments at mid-6 figures, $150,000 to $500,000 typing. And now the second script you write, that you got paid $300,000 to type. Because on the poster we're going to say from the writer of. We're going to use that marketing of that film making money to market the next one. And you get a good salary and you're buying a house now and you're getting a Beamer. I hope it's the 5 Series, not the S7 Series. Don't get so frugal or don't spend so much money and get a lease turn back. Why do you need a new car? And now on the second script, you get your $300,000 cash, you got a nice car, it's the right color. It's only got 20,000 miles on it when you start driving. You got a house in the canyon. It's going to be Laurel Canyon. It's not Coldwater. Maybe in the bad area of Nichols Canyon, but forget about Coldwater. You're not into Roscoe Mere and those other canyons that's there. We'll talk about that later on. And now if that script gets made and gets out there and makes big money, you're big. And now in the second project, you don't even have to send me a script. You can just come in and pitch to any development production company or studio directly, just your 10-word thought. And they'll finance you right away and you can direct it. But you got to take the steps, guys. You got to take the steps. You got to take the steps. The first step, everybody in Hollywood writes. Everybody writes. Even me, a rotten little teacher, I wrote 7 scripts. Not one of them sold. Not one of them was even optioned. And I was sure that everyone was great when I finished it. But you're not going to dazzle me with typing. I've done the work ethic and I still keep working. You want to break into this industry, here's the Hollywood success formula. I've seen it time and time again. Remember when we started the class and I said the 7 things it takes to be rich and famous? Now let's get down to the 7 things. Step 1, it'll never change, script. Write the script. Get the great script. Make it great. You got one shot, guys. If you're going to make the film, this is your one shot. And stop thinking that you're Michael Jordan picking up a basketball on day 1 and you play like Michael Jordan. Remember, Michael didn't make his high school team? But he practiced, and practiced. Then he developed his skill. So if your skill is writing, will you stop thinking that you're going to type the first script and it's going to be great? We somewhere in the industry believe it's somewhere between the 4th and 5th screenplay that you learn the craft. If God gifted you with the gift of dialogue, that can't be taught. So stop thinking you're just typing a script, you're on page 62, and you only got another 28 pages to go. Stop that dribble. Write the script, learn screenwriting, write the script, make it great. After you got the script, if you're an independent filmmaker, then you got to finance your own film. You have to do the legal work. You'll hire the attorney to do it for you, but you'll be cost effective with the attorney. The script, it's by far the most important thing. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. You want to be rich and famous in Hollywood, you write. And you stop thinking that the first thing you type is going to be great. You keep writing until it's great, and maybe it never will be great. But if God's gifted you with whatever talent certain writers have, it'll be great. Now, if you want to make the film yourself, stop thinking you're going to send the script in to a distributor and they're going to allow you to make it. They're just going to buy the typing. Now, if you want to make it, then you've got to be an independent filmmaker, starting off in the low-budget arena. Now, hopefully, you've written a script that is great that you can make when you don't know what you're doing and you're going to have very little money. So what that is a script that's probably the dressed-up stage play, courtroom drama, family reunion. Now, let's get your money. You'll get your attorney, you'll do your legal work, you'll get your business license, possibly incorporate limited liability company. You'll get those doctors, dentists, group of investors together. You'll set up the the screening, the sizzle, the wine and cheese party, and you'll sell units. And you'll raise your $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Now you make your film, but before you make your film, you know you got to get organized. But before organized, you got to get your resources. Your first resource will be your film directory of who's who in that area you're shooting. Now, if you're shooting in LA, New York, Northern California, you buy the book. But most other cities or states, the film commissioner will give you the directory. So now you know where to buy it from, where the lab is, the camera rental, the sound. Now you have the phone numbers of people that want to crew up. Everybody in that book has a phone number in dark printing in that book saying, call me, call me. You're the producer hustler putting it all together. They're their numbers. They're all waiting for you. So get your directory, get the proper books if you need. All I've done is put the puzzle together for you. I haven't really given you depth of anything. The depth of lighting, editing, cinematography, etc., the technical aspects of digital filmmaking, encoding, streaming, digital distribution. There are a lot of books out there. Get the other books. But please, get your contracts together. Next, get organized. Do your shooting schedule. Do your production board. Do your storyboard. Get your paperwork together. Now, shoot your film. And the only word you say while shooting your film is no. I don't know any other way of staying on budget. But you can't say the word no. That sort of comes out and turns into an argument. So you always say things like, that's a good point, let me see what I can get done. You deal with the conflicts and you stay on budget, you stay on schedule, get the master shot, go in for coverage. Don't obsess in any single shot. No shot saves the film. And somehow you power through with those 18-hour days and you get done. Now you're done, those 18-hour days. You better have energy. You ever notice those no-budget films have a bunch of kids? Take a look around this room. Do you notice the crew that's shooting here right now? You see anybody over 40? I don't even know if I see anybody over 30 in the real low-budget crew. Because you know what? They can work 18-hour days. Kids have, it's amazing how much energy they had. I don't know why God wastes energy on young people. How many of us have said that one? You know, I can't do 18-hour days. So if you want to be rich and famous in the film industry, the most important thing is the script. Get some money. It's not going to be a lot of money. Get your resources together. Get organized. Shoot the film, but don't go over budget. Kick in an energy level you had. And number 7, I don't know how to teach it. Do it with talent. How are you going to do a master shot and 2 medium shots and some cutaways and do it different from what everybody else has done over the last 50 years? I don't know, but you think you can do it differently. That's talent. If you have the great script, a little bit of money, and you do all the right stuff, and you stay on budget, you stay organized, you power through, and you have talent, which I don't know how to teach, you're pretty amazing, aren't you? You deserve to get paid all that ridiculous money we pay you after you do it once. But don't expect us in the system to believe in you. We're not your parents. But there's one other thing about the film industry, to be rich and famous, that nobody's allowed to talk about. Everybody says in the film industry there's a lot of luck. What if you do, or coincidence? Women seem to like the word kismet a lot. What if you do all the right stuff that I just taught you, and you put your film in a festival, and in that festival there are 8 darling films? Probably nothing's going to happen. But if you went to a festival 3 weeks before or 2 weeks after, and in that festival you may be the only darling film. Luck? That's not luck. It's what it is. It's God. If you want to be rich and famous in this film industry, from the people that I know that are rich and famous in this industry, I know everybody has this thing about Hollywood and we're fast-talking sleazeballs, con artists, and all this. I'm sorry, that is not correct. My acquaintances that are now friends that I've known for 10 or 15 years, that have worked their way up and accumulated information with the work ethic, every one of them are sweethearts. But there's not a single person that I don't know that hasn't written at least 4 screenplays. And most of us haven't sold them once. So if you want to be rich and famous in this industry, and I got a couple of friends, acquaintances that they're so famous they can't even go in a supermarket. I don't know why some of you want that life. I like going in a supermarket. I actually go with my wife when she's shopping, and I go into the vegetable section and I just stand there for 5 minutes. It is so soothing. That is better than a shrink any day, just hanging out in the produce section of any supermarket. The different colors of apples and oranges and all that green stuff, I like that, and those rich and famous people can't do it. But you want the life, okay. But I know a couple of those people, and they're sweethearts. They really are sweethearts. So if you want to be rich and famous in Hollywood, it comes down to 3 things. 1, script. Nothing easy about that. It's easy to teach, get the great script. It's difficult to do. The great script and some talent, and that person over there. I come from the school of hard knocks. As I said before, I'm a very self-centered, egotistical person. I believed for a long time that I was the center of the universe. That's how self-centered people think. And about 20 years ago, I had a moment of clarity or epiphany, whatever you want to call it, and I realized, you know, the universe was here first. Ooh. Then God, whatever form you feel God has, put me here for some reason. Then, instead of making these ulterior motive deals with the devil that I was making all my life, with this dribble of the Machiavellian end justifies the means crap, which is not an acceptable way of living, in my opinion, I finally made a deal with God instead of the devil. And God just asked me to shut up and show up and do a good deed every day and don't tell anybody about it. And every day, if I do a good deed and if I tell anybody about it, that's ego. You can't tell your wife, you can't tell your brother, you can't tell your friend, you can't tell anybody. And if I do a good deed every day and I don't tell anybody about it, which is not natural because I'm an egocentrical, self-centered individual, which wants to tell everybody how good I am. Good people don't tell other people how good you are. And each day that I do a good deed and don't tell anybody about it, God gives me a good deed chip. I just believe I know that. And if I keep doing a good deed, and I keep getting these good deed chips, I'm going to get a bank account. Because my end product in life is I want to go to heaven. I don't know what this thing Earth is about, but it's temporary. There's a lot more time, and it's called heaven, and I want to go there. And every time I do a good deed and build up a bank account, I know I made a deal with God. And I can't do it as an ulterior motive, because if I build up a big enough bank account, God's going to let me cash it in. Because now that I proved to God that I really am a good person, God will let me cash in the bank account, hit at the film festival, get my fame and fortune, so that the next day that I do a good deed, instead of helping one person at a time, I can help 100,000 people at a time. The people that I know in Hollywood that are rich and famous, to me, are invariably sweethearts. We're usually abrupt. We are politicians sometimes because we have to be. We cut right to the chase if you really want to talk business with us. I hope you don't consider us arrogant or condescending. But if you want to be rich and famous in the film industry, it comes down to writing, talent, and please be a good person. Please be a good person. So on your way home tonight, or those that you are about to plug out the final tape, your final thought is not your script. Your final thought is who needs help. And then you do it. And you don't tell anybody about it. And then you go to the computer and type your title. And the next day, you do something else and don't tell anybody about it. And then you type your theme. And the next day, you don't tell anybody about it, and you type your log line. And the next day, your treatment, your first draft, and I don't know, it works. I've been around a while. I've seen it works. It comes down to script, talent, and please be a good person. Only because you want to have a comfortable life, it works. There is a God, and it's not us. The universe is in its proper place. I don't know why Princess Di and Sister Teresa died in the same weekend almost, but there's logic for it. I don't know right now, but I'll find out later. So you want fame and fortune. We started off how to be rich and famous, and I want you to be. And it's pretty, I'm not going to say easy in the film industry, but it can happen relatively quick. And if you want it to happen, you write, and stop thinking the first thing you type is going to be great. And of course, talent, which I don't know how to teach. And please be a good person. God bless. Happy filmmaking.